Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. So recently there was an AMA over on Spectrum talking further about the future of reputations and the reputation system. Today I would like to break down this AMA as there was some really great information to be heard. So the first question is, will some ships be locked behind a reputation wall? And they are looking to gate many things in the game, both items as well as ships, using the reputation system, as they don't have a leveling system like traditional MMOs. So the reputation system is one of the more significant progression systems that Star Citizen has and will be hooked up into all formats of reward mechanics moving forwards. Large-scale hauling missions, for example, will likely be gated behind reputation and org membership. I think it'll personally be great working for a company like Kovalex, running goods and building that reputation to then be eventually offered access to maybe the company Hull C and run huge consignments for them, like proper space trucking. Next question is, will reputation allow players to unlock exclusive and non-exclusive ships, weapons, components, armors, skins, and so on for some faction or mission giver? Now they have been discussing this quite a bit lately, like what rewards will be associated with each org and reputation track, and at what rank will we see them being rewarded. Do expect the ability to unlock NPC org paints or tint colours for use on particular ships and item types at some of the higher ranks, and they do plan to have items in shops with purchasable requirements, which will be shown to players once they have revamped the shopping experience. To be honest, I think the sky is really the limit in terms of rewards, be that cosmetic or physical, and right now I would much prefer some cool free in-game items than cash a lot of the times, so hopefully they can get that in ASAP. Next question is, will it be possible to tank a reputation so hard that it's unrecoverable? And they say that all reps will decay towards neutral over time, be that positive or negative, with the worst reputation obviously taking longer. So basically, if you completely F something up, it will eventually recover, but it also means that you will need to maintain a good reputation as well. Next question, will some solar systems be locked behind a reputation wall? Now they plan to make things more diegetic than just saying, no, you can't go here until you reach reputation X. Instead, they plan to make it so that an area is maybe heavily patrolled or guarded by Organization X, which will create more interesting gameplay situations to try and deal with. So I guess you could make friends in some way, like running missions with an organization who are controlling a particular jump point. Maybe you could be doing a mission where getting access to that jump point would mean you could sneak into the system, and then you would have to run missions for the organization or build reputation with the organization defending that jump point, kind of giving you more paths to take. So the next question is, are missions we see going to be filtered by reputation? And CIG's current thinking is you will only see missions you are eligible for or close to being eligible for, which will provide players with a glimpse of missions available just beyond their current standing. Next question, how will reputation work for hauling contracts and the like? Will there be factors like how fast goods are delivered or whether they're damaged? And they say they definitely will be adding levels of success to missions wherever possible, of which these may be advertised or hidden from the player. They will try this firstly with a variant of the time-sensitive mission where the player needs to deliver as much cargo as possible, gambling on how fast they can load, travel and unload in time, with the more that you deliver, the bigger the reward in UEC and reputation. I would personally love for them to bring missions transporting ships for other people from one place to another, be that for players or NPCs, where damage is factored into the overall payout, very much like they do with the test drive games. I loved doing those missions. Next question, is there plans to add profession-based contracts like mining, cargo, transport, medical and salvage and so on? For example, a mining contract to find a new element or deliver refined agricium to a specific location, unlocking new contracts or access to mining aids and bonuses. So yes, there will definitely be profession-specific missions, first of which will likely be cargo hauling, where you are being paid to transport an existing set of cargo for a company from one place to another. Now, as they refactor the cargo system, they would like to change the current commodity trading so that players can lock in contracts to deliver X amount of cargo type to location Z for a guaranteed price per unit, with other professions falling in line with similar types of missions as they relate to each profession's key gameplay goals. For example, exploration might have you finding new celestial bodies or new locations. Now this I really love the sound of. Of course, having the hardest, highest paying missions will be great and a lot of people will do them, but I do love the idea of doing general day-to-day delivery missions or using my knowledge of the system to get the best deal in order to fulfill a contract. And these missions will likely make up a lot of the bread and butter jobs available. Next question, is there something planned for possible reputations with player orgs? Now they said that they see two primary interactions between player orgs and reputations. The first one being player orgs having a reputation with other NPC orgs. And the second is potentially to allow player orgs to set up their own rules for a reputation that players can earn. Now, although the reputation system is built to allow this, they said at current they don't plan to do this, but it was heavily debated and they can't rule anything out forever. But as it stands right now, the cons outweighed the pros, with most of the cons revolving around removing or reducing player interactions and community building, which they are trying to encourage. Now, I get why they don't want to allow that, but I am quite intrigued by the idea of setting our own org rule sets to gain reputation, and we will have to see how this unfolds, but personally, I do think you will have a natural reputation with real people and player orgs, so the difficulty really will just be tracking it and whether you remember that person or not. So I'm a bit 50-50 on that one. Next question, are you planning to add reputation app filters when there are more quest givers, companies, systems and planets? And they say yes, they have planned out multiple additional iterations on the app for when more content and systems come online, with a filtering and sorting system that will allow for grouping similar organizations and contracts together, being 2 of them. These will still be supplemented by the favorite system that we currently have. And yes, of course, sorting and filtering will be vital. Next question, how extensive is the reputation system? Will it make up the majority of our future gameplay and money-making methods, or will we seek our own adventure and not rely too much on missions and reputations? Now, the reputation will be one of the main progression gates, meaning to get the biggest rewards, you will likely have to work your way up through the ranks. You are always free to go mining, trading, salvaging, and doing whatever you want to do, but if you build reputations with orgs, you may be able to sell for more or skip the queue. Now, there will be plenty of content found out in the sandbox, which will provide opportunities outside of quests. Encounters, for example, that will have nothing to do with reputation, but on the other hand, you may encounter a freighter being attacked by the Ninetails gang and decide to intervene. However, doing so, you will inadvertently place yourself in a negative standing with the Ninetails gang, and then the next time you encounter them, they may attack you. Now, personally, I think most of what I will get up to in the verse will be off of my own back, not necessarily relating to reputations, like treasure hunting, salvaging, mining, and running with my own organization. But having various reputations between us as players, we will always be able to find a great price and utilize those reputations where necessary. Next question, will there be an intergalactic reputation that spans cities, planets, and even systems between human and Jan space, for example? Now, it will be very much based on who you are working for. For example, the Bounty Hunters Guild has a global reach and will carry over from system to system. But as you complete contracts for a specific faction, like Crusader Security's bounty hunting missions, for example, then that will be specific to them. However, they will take your Bounty Hunters Guild reputation into consideration to determine what level of mission they'll set you off on. Next question, how do you plan to avoid reputation grind as a gameplay necessity? Now, this is probably one of the best questions and answers for this whole AMA. CIG say that the term grind has a negative connotation, and in many games it often doesn't feel great. Now, Star Citizen's reputation system is built to have very long-term goals, which does mean you will need to play the game for a long time to achieve higher tiers, and that is a grind. And they are not trying to avoid a grind, but rather avoid a bad grind, which they consider to be anything that forces you to do boring, repetitive gameplay, with them saying that they know that is pretty much what they have right now. But they have a few methods to help avoid bad grind, which are the various sandbox elements of the game, allowing different solutions to the same mission, encouraging more player interactions, both friendly and foe, by having missions collide more, dynamically creating missions that pick from a pool of mission pieces so that even the base mission is different most of the time, and allowing us to build rep by working for an ally. Now, all of the above are intended to make it so that even if we are grinding reputation with an organization for weeks, it'll stay interesting and engaging. And I think that's so true. There's nothing wrong with a grind so long as it isn't a bad grind. Next question is, will reputations become interconnected? For example, if I do a mission for a criminal, will I automatically lose rep with the advocacy or local security? And they say yes, there is a rudimentary version of the enemies and allies system right now, but it isn't driving much content yet, but they do have plans to expand on it heavily. Will we be able to bribe our way to better reputation and missions, or bribe to overlook bad conduct or actions? And in certain cases, they say yes, some orgs or contracts will have interactions where they would normally act in a particular way because your reputation is below a certain threshold, but they might temporarily overlook your reputation if you immediately give them something. There are also plans to allow us to gain rep by bringing orgs something they like, more gameplay orientated rather than just simply bribing with money, and as CIG say, they have been drawing inspiration from social simulators. Next question is, why do you lose so much reputation when you abandon or fail a mission at a higher reputation? Surely making it to a higher reputation grants you some respect. So they said that currently the reputation system is only represented within the bounty hunting line, which is a high-risk field of work, and you would be more inclined to cut slack on a newer employee who is less experienced on a lower-risk job than a seasoned employee making a mistake during a high-risk job, as it would also very much hurt the company name. So I guess it would vary from job type to job type, but strangely, I feel both opinions here are applicable, and there should definitely be some granularity to this case, if possible, where it may factor in with different types of jobs. Next question is, will high reputation bounty hunting factions in each jurisdiction allow us to enter areas that normally you would get trespassing charges for, so that we can hunt down the baddies without committing a crime? So they say yes, it will allow you to enter some trespass areas and also allow us to carry non-lethal weapons inside rest stops and such, but they are working on a new security system which, amongst other things, will allow for players to trespass in a zone and only receive a crime stat if spotted, arrested or killed there while being attacked by the defenses. Now, I love the idea of pursuing a target from space who then runs into a facility or a building of some sort planetside, chasing them through derelict buildings on this big cat and mouse chase. I cannot wait for that experience. Next question, do we lose reputation over time by not engaging with certain factions? And yes, there is a decay built into the system, so they can decay all the way back to 0, and the rate of decay will be something controllable between the orgs. So on the flip side, if an org hates you, it will be approachable again after some time. Next question, what kind of non-combat orgs are in the planning, development or concepting stage? Now, they are working on having a wide breadth of orgs to cover most of the gameplay activities, ranging from food delivery companies to roadside assistance, or space-side assistance in this case. The basic idea is that there will be smaller local companies that service a planetary system, medium companies that service an entire solar system, and larger companies that service multiple star systems. What rewards are planned that are not simply access to more missions or greater payouts? This, they say, is something they absolutely want to expand on. The reward system in general is something that they want to evolve as they move forward. And on the roadmap, there is a deliverable called Org Perk Benefits, which is going to start giving access to a multitude of things, which could include but are not limited to lower expedite fee for ships, discounts at shops, hiring extra workers to repair ships, of which will take time, resources and people, free landing services at, say, location X, ship rental time extensions or reductions in prices, access to items gated at reputation levels at shops, refinery job priority, as right now it is queue dependable, or a free upgrade at a refinery for whatever method is being used to refine the goods. There will be so many more to come as they expand the gameplay functionality, but the bottom line is the gameplay systems are built in a way that they can easily expand upon this. Next question is, are you planning to include all the other in-game companies to the reputation system, like the delivery companies, and will this also have a payout percentage increase as we gain reputation? Now, they definitely are planning to expand to more mission types and organizations. What we have right now is just the first step, But the plan is to bring older contracts into the system, with a long-term goal being, if you are doing a mission for most organizations, then you'll always be earning reputation, with some exceptions. So the final question is, will we be able to hack our reputations or hide it with ID spoofing? Now, they do love the idea of temporarily spoofing our reputation to trick someone, and this has been heavily discussed but not heavily planned out. So it does sound as though there is a good potential we will sometime in the future be able to spoof our ID or spoof our reputation to gain access to other things. So there you have it. That was the Reputation AMA. Some really great upcoming plans for missions and reputations. And personally, I am very excited to now see the missions available expand in depth, diversity and payout, but also gaining other reward types that are useful in game or just to be kept as trophies. I love the idea of filling my ships and hangars and homes with items that I've earned over time, and then as I wander through them later in my career or whatever, how long I've been playing for, I see these items and recall back to the missions themselves. Love it. Anyway, with that said, if you do enjoy my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, come and hang out over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers if you want to talk more about Star Citizen. Hit the like button if you don't mind. It does the channel a big favor. And if you want to be notified when my videos go live, tick that notification bell. Big thank you again to my patrons and channel members. Cannot do this without you guys, so thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.